Hey everybody, we're Sean and Stef, and we're here to talk about all things Norwegian Bliss. What?
All right, let's start off with a few ship facts.
Ship
facts. Here we go. Bliss was built in 2018 and is the sister ship to the Norwegian Joy, Norwegian Escape, and the Norwegian Encore, which will start sailing toward the end of this year, 2019. The Norwegian Bliss can carry a little over 4,000 passengers and has 1,700 crew on board.
Ooh-wee.
The Bliss has 20 decks, 5 complimentary dining options, 9 specialty dining options, 21 bars and lounges, and we have to mention that the Bliss is home to one of 2 go-kart tracks at sea. The other track lives on the Joy, which is the sister ship to the Bliss.
We know a little bit about that go-kart track too. Just a little bit. So what did we think about the Norwegian Bliss? You're going to have to watch to find out.
Now, before we start, if you are new to our channel, you're new here, welcome. But we would love it if you would hit that subscribe button right there. That would be great. That way you don't miss any of our cruise tips, our cruise reviews, our travel vlogs, and anything else fun that we have going on. Make sure you hit that. We want you to be part and share it with us.
All right, first up is the ship design.
All right, let's start with the layout. One thing we want to point out, something very unique to Norwegian's newer ships is 6, 7, 8 Ocean Place. These are decks 6, 7, and 8, as you might imagine, 6, 7, 8 Ocean Place. This is where all of your main inside stuff is going to be located.
So yeah, 6, 7, 8 is awesome. It has all the fun stuff. It's got the atrium. It's got everything that you want. It's got your coffee. It's got your food. I mean, it's really, unless you're hanging out in your cabin or on top,
Yes.
You're going to be at 6, 7, and 8 all the time, especially at night. It's a wonderful place to spend your evenings.
Yeah,
Amazing
it really
bars.
has everything. Like all the dining rooms, like Sean said, are there. Every single one is there. There's only a couple that are on the top decks, but that's really, really cool. Your theater's there. I mean, everything is on 6, 7, 8 Ocean Place.
Yeah, so if you get overwhelmed with the size of the ship, just go to 6, 7, or 8, and your odds are you'll be okay.
Yeah, everything is right there. It's centrally located. It's easy to get around. You really can't get lost. You just go from one side to the other side. I will say one thing about everything being on 6, 7, 8 is that means everybody in the ship at night is on 6, 7, and 8. So everybody's in the same place. It does get very crowded. When there's an atrium show going on, say like, I don't know, what's some of the things they have in there, like the game show for
Trivia,
all that stuff. It's going to be crowded. So if you feel like there's a lot of people, just go up a couple decks where there aren't anybody and you'll be fine. But that makes it very congested in there, making everybody on the same 3 decks for the nighttime stuff is kind of...
And it should be stated that these atriums are much larger than on other ships that you can compare them to. So that means no midship stairwells or elevators. Also because they have cabins for solo travelers right there in the midship as well. So the atriums are much larger and there are no midship stairwells or elevators. So if that's your jam, you're going to have to learn to rock the forward and aft stairwells or elevators.
Yeah, so that's one thing about having no elevators in the middle and everything in the middle is that your elevators on the sides are going to be very busy.
Much more crowded.
It's one good thing about having it on 6, 7, 8. If you are able-bodied, I definitely suggest walking. It's only usually 1 deck. I mean, you rarely go from 6 to 8, but if you do, that's only 2 decks. So you have, you could down 1 or up 1. It's really, really simple.
And they also have internal stairs in the atrium. So you can walk down in the middle of the atrium down a stair and you don't have to worry about going to the forward or aft stairwells.
Yep. All right. So that's 6, 7, 8. Now we have to talk about one thing that's absolutely beautiful on the Bliss, and it's called the Observation Lounge.
This is my favorite thing in the universe.
It is not on deck 6, 7, or 8.
No.
It is on deck 15 at the top of the ship, and it is gorgeous. It's the front. It's beautiful.
But it's like the entire front of it's the thing that's boggling for me. It's hard to even put into words. Is that I expected this to look a lot like the typical observation lounges. It's basically a bigger, small venue entertainment area or a bigger bar. On all these other ships, you still get the cool vistas and everything, but they're not this big. The observation deck is so big that it wraps around the entire front of the ship, and there are 2 entrances, one on each side of the ship, the port and the starboard. And it's like not the front of the ship; it's like the front 3/4 of the ship.
It
is
huge.
You walk for days before you get to the front of the ship, and you don't need to go all the way to the front because everything you find in the front they also provide for you on the sides, and that's the buffets and the drinks, and I mean it's incredible. It's my favorite place on this ship for real.
It is. I mean, it's just a great place to read a book, watch you could, like Sean said, it's the front of the ship, so you can watch everything coming and going.
Your favorite bar?
It's our favorite bar. Bliss was designed for Alaska, which it's there in the summertime, so it would be an amazing place to just watch the Alaskan scenery go by. I can't even imagine. I was trying to imagine while we were on it going, oh my gosh, this would be so beautiful. So we love that. It was probably our second favorite place on board. We have a first place, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yes. The first place has hours. The second place you can come as you please. So yes.
All right. So our overall thoughts on the Bliss design. You want to do it? Your thoughts first?
It's in my mind, it's the quintessential Norwegian ship. I think it's the best of the Norwegian ships that I've been on. not trying to get into an argument. I know everyone has a special Norwegian ship in their heart. Let's not fight. We're all talking about Norwegian. We're all family. Just for me, it's the closest to what Norwegian does in terms of what they do right. I think that this is the best version of Norwegian, and I'm hoping that Joy or Encore does it even better. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's the best Norwegian ship in the fleet.
Yeah, I love the layout on the Bliss. There's no hidden decks. You don't have to go up, to go down, to go left, to go right. It's all straightforward, front to back. Yeah. It's really, really simple to get around. I love that. Now, I do miss the midship elevators like some ships have, but I understand why they're not there. If, like we said, if you're able to walk, then walk the stairs. It makes us get more exercise. That way we're able to indulge more on the food, which is really, really cool.
And the amazing drinks.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Because everything is on 6, 7, 8 inside, it does get crowded. So that's my only thing. And there really isn't a lot of crowd control going on. So you will have congested areas. And of course, the elevators will always be congested, as most cruise ships anyway. So
our humble tip is just find your space. If you're going to go to something like trivia, expect everybody to want to go do that, or a deck party.
Just get there.
If it's a big announcement, just get there a little bit early. If you want to avoid that stuff, there's wonderful little bars and little nooks and crannies all over this ship for you to just chill and stay away from the crowds.
That's right. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the food.
Come on.
How were the restaurants on the Bliss?
Delicious.
Delicious. Oh my gosh.
Okay, before we talk about Norwegian cruising, we have to talk about how Norwegian does things completely different than everybody else, and it's called freestyle cruising, right?
That's right. It's basically do what you want when you want to do it.
How you want to do it.
We love that philosophy. It's what attracted us to Norwegian at the beginning. When we first were looking back into cruising. We love that you can there are no set dining times.
Nope.
Everything's freestyle. So the main dining rooms are open, and then you just show up whenever you want, and then you get a pager, just like at a restaurant by your house or anything
if you go to like Chili's and say, look, I got a party of 4, they might be able to seat you, but odds are they'll be like, here's a pager, we'll see you in 20 minutes. And that's basically freestyle dining.
Yeah. You show up, they put your name on a list, and you wait till your table's ready. Now, keep this in mind when you're thinking about dining times.
Yeah.
If you're going in 6 to 8, for example, it's going to be really busy. If you go earlier, like 5, or you go later, like 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and eat later, then you're not going to have a big wait time or any wait time. But of course, I think the longest we've waited is like 20 minutes or so.
And you know what you can do while you wait for your food? You can go get a drink. There's a bar outside of every restaurant. So, I mean, it's not like you have to sit there and, read or something.
That's right. You always have something to do. All right, so let's start talking about the complimentary food first.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're not really MDRs, but we're going to call them MDRs, which stands for main dining room. Sorry, cruise slang, everybody. Norwegian doesn't have your typical main dining rooms, but we're going to call these MDRs, main dining rooms, because they're the included options in your base ticket. So as far as I'm concerned, these main dining rooms that they have, which would be the Taste, the Savor, and the Manhattan room, destroy most, if not all, regular main dining rooms because they've just killed the main dining room.
That's right.
You don't have these massive halls where thousands of people are getting served at once. It really feels like a regular restaurant.
Like a restaurant, yeah. I mean, I think that's the main thing that we love about it. Your food doesn't come out in massive trays. It just comes out for your table. It is just a regular restaurant. Here's your 2 plates, boop, boop, and then they go back and they get the next tables, and that's how they do it. The servers get sat there just like a regular restaurant. They're in a rotation, so nobody gets double sat or any of that stuff.
Nope.
It keeps everything flowing and feeling like a restaurant feeling versus an MDR feeling of other cruise ships, and we really like that way that they work. Another thing we love about the main dining room, I say that in quotes, main dining room
for sure.
On Norwegian is that it is a restaurant. So if there's a party of 2, you don't have to sit with anybody else.
There's
you get to sit.
Seating.
No, there's no shared seating. It's not European dining. We love that. I want to go and have a meal with Sean. I don't want to go have a meal with 6 other people. I know people like that, and I'm great with that.
We have terrible luck.
We don't have the best luck.
We have terrible luck
when
with
we're
that.
filming and everything else. We just want to have a conversation, especially for us. Our dinners are our special time. So after we do all of our regular filming stuff at the very beginning of the meal, it becomes Sean and Stef time. And we talk about the day, and we talk about this. When you have a group of people, you don't get to have that same intimate
Norwegian, we end up
meeting.
talking about the food.
That's right, we do. Yes.
Hard to film anything when you're like,
yeah, we're always eating it. So we will say that's another thing is you don't have to have shared tables, which is great. We have also cruised with Norwegian a bunch of times.
I think a bajillion.
I think a bajillion.
That's
we are
probably
platinum with Norwegian. I would say that the main dining room is always consistently good. It's not like over the moon fantastic. It's never bad.
It's never bad.
It's just consistently good.
The food is consistently good in the main dining room.
Straight down the middle. It's really we don't have any complaints about it.
And what about super cash? I mean, you can be cash
Oh my
here.
gosh, yes.
That's the one thing that's another reason we started sailing Norwegian in the first place was
Yes.
how much more casual you can be.
So it's you 100% of the time, it's up to you. It's freestyle cruising. Now, there are 3 main dining rooms on Norwegian. They all serve the exact same food every night.
They do.
It is Taste, Savor in the Manhattan room.
Yep.
Or I think the Manhattan changes on different shifts to whatever it is. It's the big main dining room that they have. It has a dance floor and stuff.
Probably has Burn the Floor in there somewhere.
Somewhere in there, yes. Okay, so Taste and Savor are 100% casual, but Manhattan is a dress up, kind of dressed nicer.
And when
like
they say dress up, it's not
casual.
really crazy.
Not you don't have to wear a ball gown or anything like that. They just want you to kind of wear, your business casual kind of outfits. And
let's see if we can get a donation for me to wear a ball gown on a Norwegian ship. Can we make that happen?
I think they call it smart casual attire, which is really nice. But if you don't want to dress in smart casual attire, you can always go to Taste or Savor,
without a doubt,
which is really nice. So you have the choices. Again, the food is all the same. It just depends on what ambiance you want. And we've actually sometimes have dressed up and we go to Taste or Savor because it's either faster or because there's a line at the Manhattan room to get in, or we just like the ambiance better. It's just a little
it's
bit
an
more
intimate
casual.
restaurant, and the crew is just so delightful everywhere you go. So I get the same quality service no matter what restaurant I roll into. So I'm totally happy doing Taste or Savor versus the Manhattan. There's a little bit more pomp and circumstance in the Manhattan, and sometimes you just feel like dipping away and just having a quiet meal, right?
That's right.
And it's included. So what can you hate about that? Speaking about included, there's the Garden Cafe.
Oh, that's right.
That's
buffet.
the buffet, yeah.
All right, so the buffet on the Bliss is good. It's a typical buffet. The one thing I really love about the Bliss buffet is it's at the front of the ship. It's right underneath the observation lounge, so you get these amazing views again. I mean, it's the most gorgeous views of any buffet that we've ever seen.
You can also bring a snack upstairs to the observation lounge.
That's right. Well, we did that on many
Pro
times.
tip. The food is really good. We're not buffet people, so before you jumped on our throats saying this buffet is terrible or whatever, it was consistently good. It's great. We just don't like buffets because a lot of the things we see other people doing is like, I don't really want to touch that now. Thank you. But here's a great tip for you. During busy times, there's usually a second station set up towards the back that repeats everything you see. It's an identical copy. So keep on walking, son.
Keep on walking. You're gonna think I'm gonna run out of food. You won't.
No.
Go to the back, and there's usually, like Sean said, there's almost identical.
Well, if not identical.
If not identical, you'll see the same stations.
Yeah, there's usually less people, and the other reason why we don't like buffets is there's a lot of pushing and shoving and stuff. I'm here to eat, yo.
Yeah, I don't even look at the food in the front. I just go beeline it straight to the back. Sean knows he's like, she's gone.
Yeah, go to the back buffet.
Go all the way to the back, and so we don't deal with any of the craziness of the buffet.
All right. Well, there's one more complimentary dining option.
Yeah.
I mean, so there you go. We're talking about complimentary after complimentary after complimentary. This is included dining.
There's a lot of options.
All in your base ticket. So what are we talking about? It's the local.
Yep, the local is going to be your pub on board. They have some great food here, and one thing that's really cool is it's open 24 hours a day. So if you have a hankering for a hot dog at 3 a.m., you can go to the pub or the local and get your hot dog. They have great burgers, hot dogs, wings. We love it. It's a great bar.
And it's a fantastic bar. It's also a bar typically where I'll end up dying because a lot of times they'll have like pub games there, and Stef will throw darts, and may God have mercy on your soul wherever that dart lies. It should be also known if you're a Norwegian fan but you haven't sailed for a minute, the pub is not new. It's what Ocean's used to be.
That's correct. Yeah, just a different name.
Yeah.
Same food.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
Yeah, slightly different, but very good.
All right, let's move right along to specialty dining. So the complimentary options on the Bliss are so good.
So good.
But specialty dining
take it to another level.
So these are going to have an upcharge.
Yep.
Unless you are included in your NCL package that you get with your cabin, which is a lot of people have. So we didn't get to try all the restaurants, but we are going to talk about the ones that we did try.
Yep. So first up is a Norwegian staple. It's Cagney's.
Cagney's. All right. So we love Cagney's. Cagney's is our favorite meal on all Norwegian ships except this one.
Yeah. It's no longer
wasn't good. It wasn't good. We were really disappointed. We didn't have an included package on our cabin. We didn't have the dining package. No. We were on the bottom base fare that you can possibly get. So
we had to pay for every meal.
We did pay for this one, and it was just not good. It was just not good.
Look, if you've ever been into a restaurant, or if you've worked in a restaurant, sometimes restaurants have bad nights. I don't know if it was a bad night or if it's just things are down, but it was so bad that the maitre d' just rolled by and was like, "Oh yeah, we'll just get you another one." Not realizing that we paid for this, and it was just kind of like a swap out, right? So when it came down to it, we didn't want another, because the second one that came out was just as bad as the first. Even the server said it was like not really super keen on serving this. So they didn't realize that we paid for the meal, so they just excused us and let us go. Well, we were charged for that meal, right? So that was a problem. this is probably not going to apply to anybody else on the planet because very few people don't get the perks. We literally got the no perk deal just so we could sail on the ship. So it was not the best meal. We typically have a wonderful, wonderful evening in Cagney's every time. So out of the 900 times we've eaten at Cagney's, this would be the first time we had a bad time.
Yeah,
the food got sent back.
It was actually not pleasant. I did end up talking to a manager about it, and they ended up refunding it eventually.
Yeah.
And we did get another meal replacement at Los Lobos.
That was very kind of them.
That was very, very kind.
We did not ask them to do that.
We didn't. I was just telling them about our experience.
We just didn't want to pay for the meal that we didn't eat. We weren't asking for anything for free. So that's another thing that Norwegian tries to go up and above, but we absolutely didn't ask for anything. We were just like, yo, can we not pay for a meal we didn't eat? And the manager was like, obviously. Yes. Why is this even a question? Well, somebody had forgotten to attend to it. That's all. Things happen. That brings us on to probably my favorite restaurant that now destroys all of the Norwegian restaurants. Nothing will ever, it all pales in comparison. And that's Los Lobos. Goodness gracious.
Lobos. It's a brand new restaurant on Norwegian, on the Bliss. It's the first ship to have it. And OMG, it is just the best Mexican food. We lived in California, and it was, oh my goodness, it was so good. Everything is fresh. I mean, this is definitely my recommendation. I think where Cagney's fell short, Los Lobos made up with it like tenfold.
I mean, it just killed it.
They make guacamole. It's fresh tableside guac. And
not my jam, but Steph loved it.
Oh my gosh, I ate it all myself. It was so good.
The street corn, ooh wee.
Oh, street corn. And you can ask them if you want to. They'll take off the husk for you at the table. They'll cut it off for you. So that's a tip that they don't actually say.
And I haven't had street corn since I lived in LA. So that was a flashback. It was just unreal.
We were in a food coma.
Oh my gosh.
It was just so good. I think we ate there a couple of times.
We did. That was definitely my favorite restaurant of all. Of course, talking about new restaurants, and a restaurant I think they did surprisingly well.
Yes.
Was Q, their barbecue restaurant.
Q. This is another brand new Norwegian restaurant. It was really, really good. Probably the best barbecue that we've ever had. And we lived on a ship. Yeah. We lived on a ship, and we lived in Nashville. I mean, it definitely
compared to the Nashville barbecue, but it won't compare to like our friend Perry. He makes the best barbecue ever.
Homemade barbecue is always going to be better, but from a restaurant,
so good,
like barbecue-y, or if you're from Nashville, this was better. I thought it was better. The sauces were better. The food was better. It was better.
And it had an amazing chili. I don't know what it is with the chilies, but it's so good. I will say this: the restaurant was massive.
It is huge.
I know they make room for like line dancing and stuff, but it's so big they could have split the restaurant in half straight down the middle and done Q and a whole nother restaurant, and it wouldn't be small.
Like
they
could have had restaurant.
They could bring back Shanghai's. But anyway, it was such a massive place. So odds are you won't have trouble getting in, but there are definitely going to be times where they remove some of the tables and it turns into a dance floor.
That's right. They have, like Sean said, line dancing and stuff. All right, that brings us to our next specialty dining restaurant, which is Food Republic.
This one we fell in love with on the Escape.
The Escape, yeah. This is not a new restaurant.
Nope. It's pretty cool though.
It is pretty cool. So you order everything on an iPad. It's really neat. It's basically tapas style. So once it's cooked, they bring it to your table. So you get it in pieces. You don't actually eat a whole meal. No. It's kind of like snacking. They just keep bringing you more and more snacks.
All shareable, really tiny little shareable options, and it's really, really good. I personally, I hate to say this, but I personally believe that either the menu has been pared back or on the Bliss, it's not as good. On the Escape, I had more options, a lot more vegetarian options as well. I honestly believe they pared down the sheer number of menus and numbers of time you need to click, and as such, a lot of really great food is missing. So
yeah, it didn't. We thought the food on the Escape at Food Republic was better. It wasn't as good as it was good. It just wasn't as good as our Escape experience that we had. That was for us.
Let's be honest. I could eat at Los Lobos and Q the whole time and just be fine.
Once you go to Los Lobos and Q, you're gonna be like, nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
At least for us, that's what it was for us. Now there were restaurants that we didn't try, and those restaurants are La Cucina, which is your Italian restaurant on board.
And we should say we've done that restaurant 1,000 times. So yeah.
Yeah, we've actually tried a lot. I think we've tried all of these except 2 on the other restaurant, on the other ships.
And one would have killed me. So yeah.
Yeah. So we've done La Cucina on other ships. It is the Italian.
It's okay.
It's good. It's good. Typical pasta.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I liked it better when it had the oven fired pizza, to be honest.
Yeah, they had pizza on the Epic, I think is what it was. I think maybe I'm wrong. No, the Getaway. It was the Getaway. We've been on so many. I don't know.
All those sailings transposed.
They're so good. But definitely give that a try if you like Italian. Le Bistro.
Yep. Le Bistro is a French restaurant.
We've never eaten there.
Nope.
The menu for us doesn't really appeal to us. We're not big into French food, so we've never eaten there. The next one would be Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville at Sea.
We've eaten there many times.
Love.
Yes, it's quite good. It's burgers and fries done right. It's worth the upcharge. Really, really great margaritas.
Yes.
Really, I think
nachos.
You got a massive nacho. I got this salad that could have and actually did keep me full for days.
Yeah, they have pretzels there as well.
Yeah.
So
now,
good.
up next is Ocean Blue, and a good dear friend of ours loves this restaurant, but it will legit kill me if I have been walking within 50 feet of it, so we don't ever try.
We don't, because it's mostly seafood. So with Sean's seafood allergy, we just typically stay away. Yeah. We may have to give it a try since we did give Royal Caribbeans a try. We might have to try it next time.
I'm going to meet with the maitre d' first,
Yeah, we'll
but
have to
yes,
see.
I will absolutely give it a try on the next Norwegian ship.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone out there from Norwegian who's watching this, if you want us to try the seafood, give us a holler.
Yes. And the very last thing that we didn't try on this ship, but we've done on many Norwegian ship, is teppanyaki, which is the Japanese steakhouse, which is where they cook the food in front of you with the show and the shrimps and the hat and the eggs and all that stuff.
I'll say that it's probably the best teppanyaki across all the fleets of any competitors. I think it's the best. It's the most interesting teppanyaki, but it is very much teppanyaki. So you're sitting with you and 15 of your closest friends. Yeah. And it's for me, I have to be very, very careful because this is a shared cooking environment. So a little worried about it, but I do it anyway, and it's always really great. So if you're interested in more of like a dinner show, basically, this is really a good option.
All right.
Speaking of shows,
that was a good
good segue. Let's move on to the entertainment on the Bliss.
Yes. So first up is Jersey Boys. This is the Broadway show on the Bliss, and it is great.
Really good.
The show is all about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. You gotta see it. It's great. We don't have any footage because we're not allowed to shoot in there, but it is a fantastic theater.
Pretty strict about shooting.
Yeah, they're very, very strict, but it is a great show. It's fun for the whole family. It's just great music. You will love it. It's a Broadway show.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Yep. And up next is the Cavern Club.
Yep, this is Norwegian has recreated the legendary Liverpool club where the Beatles used to play. It's a very, very cool environment, but one thing that's so cool about it, we've never seen it.
So when it comes to the Cavern Club, there's this force field, right? And when nothing's going on, the force field isn't there, and we walk in and we're like, wow, this is beautiful.
This is beautiful.
And then when something awesome's going on, it's like, boom. Hold on. Boom. Hey, wait, what the?
There's a force field
for whatever reason. Every time we're like, oh, we're going to see that tonight. No, we are not. It never happens. Out of 50 trillion bajillion sailings, we've somehow missed the Cavern Club every single time, and we don't know why.
Well, it gets really busy.
I do know
that. If you want to see this, make it a priority to get there as soon as you can.
That's true.
Get there early, so find your spot. We always usually are doing dinner or something else or going around the ship.
Everybody
so
loves
we always
the
just want to casually go in. There's no casually going in Cavern Club. Everybody loves it. It's so fun. It looks fun. It looks fun from the outside, and the music sounds great from the outside. So if you want to get inside, make sure you get a seat.
Okay, up next was something that I had a lot of fun. Yes. I was made very uncomfortable, but it was a lot of fun. Was the happy hour prohibition, which in my mind is the single greatest kind of thing that Norwegian does in this arena. It's so good.
So this is an upcharge show, but it's worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
It is a drink tasting. So basically you are
Can we say speedy drink tasting?
Can we say that? It is very speedy. So it is a show.
Yes.
It is a speakeasy where you are served 5 drinks that are from the Prohibition era. The show is led by Miss Lulu and her girls, and they give you the history of the liquor you are drinking while performing a burlesque type show.
And so when they give you the history of it, they're not boring you with details and facts in a way where it's like Jeopardy. What was the blah, 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 to blah, blah, blah. No, they're singing it. They're calling people out. They make this whole story. It almost feels like it's not Norwegian. This almost feels like Disney production where they put a lot of thought and effort into this script, and it's really, really well done.
Yeah, it's so good. I will say there is no nudity.
It's not a burlesque show.
It's burlesque style. It is, but it's fully clothed. I mean, it's bikinis. There's no problems. Also, if you do not want to drink, they have other drinks for you to drink. If you're under 21, I think they want you to be over 16. I think don't quote me on that one.
So.
It's something like that for the subject matter that is it's adult subject matter. Just keep that in mind.
They have really great moments with the audience. I got called out. The entire group of burlesque women yelled my name no less than 20 times. I got assaulted in a good way.
It was a good thing. Yeah,
I got uncomfortably assaulted. I don't know if there's a proper term for it.
There's not.
But it is what it is.
It was so much fun. We definitely recommend it. It's worth it. If you are doing one upcharge thing, do this instead of a drink tasting or just a regular like the martini flight.
Well, let me put it to you this way: the go-karts were open, and we did this, and Stephanie still recommended it. So there you go.
Yes. Speaking of go-karts,
let's talk about activities on the Bliss.
Let's talk about the activities on the Bliss. All right, so let's first, before we get into the fun stuff, let's talk about the spa.
Oh, yeah. The spa is actually fun.
The spa is really fun, but it's not like the high adrenaline stuff. This is the low adrenaline.
All the chill. So if you know anything about Norwegian, they typically have the best spas at sea. They really do. Most of the spas that we've been to recently don't even have a thermal spa, and Norwegian has the thermal spa. So let's start with that. The best thermal spa in the universe.
The hydrotherapy pool is so big. big. There's plenty of space for everyone. You don't feel like people are on top of you. I love the waterfall feature that
gosh.
goes, you stick your shoulders under there and it's
So
like
good
your
on your
just
shoulders.
world melts away. It's amazing. It's a little painful at times, but it's so
for me. Bring it.
good. The water's perfect. There's bubbles, there's jets. And I love it. Like I said, there's a ton of space for everyone to be in there. And we never saw it crowded. I mean, it's really great.
No, and it has a hot tub in there.
Yeah, nice hot tub.
Of course, right next to the hydrotherapy pool are the heated loungers, and there's a ton of them.
There's a ton of them.
And they're not in a walled off room. You get to see, so you get this beautiful vista while you're chilling on these. It doesn't matter, you're asleep.
Yeah,
The-
that's true.
The loungers are so good. At least the ones I did were so good that I forgot to pay attention to the vista. I'm like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals. So
They also have a snow room, which is great, a salt
gosh.
room, a steam room, and a sauna. All these experiences are wonderful.
the snow room was intense.
The snow
wasn't it?
room is
So
really
cool.
intense. We did get a day pass for
Yep.
this. We used this instead of getting a port excursion. We did this as our port excursion. So we had a day pass. They do offer those when you are in port. They do not offer them on sea days,
Nope.
but they do have a weekly pass. So if you're looking for the ultimate relaxing, chill vacation and you want to go to the spa, we definitely recommend the week pass if you're going to spend it. For us, we actually we've bought week passes in the past. And we found that we actually spent more time in the day pass because we used it for the whole day
Right.
than we ever did for our week pass that we had.
Especially now that we shoot all the time.
Yes.
Now that we don't get to relax like everybody else does now. We have so much other things to do. So we really typically only get an hour to do anything. Here on the spa, we made it our excursion, so we got to spend the whole day, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Let's move on and talk about laser tag. Laser tag.
I love laser tag.
Yes.
I love laser tag. I play it in Orlando, and the crazy stuff here, we just played it on Royal Caribbean.
We did.
Here's the problem, though. Even though we made appointments and tried our darndest to even get on standby, we could not, under any circumstances, get into laser tag. And the reason is it's all the way at the highest deck.
Deck 20.
Deck 20. It gets wet and windy.
Yep.
Not entirely certain who thought this up, but it's one of those things like what they talked about, like ice skating on the basketball deck is a really great idea on paper, but then implementing it, tearing it up, tearing it down for nobody, that kind of nonsense, just a bad idea. This is the same thing where laser tag needs to be downstairs or inside. It's an indoor event, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I think they've got a great spin on it, and the environment is great. That environment just needs to be pushed down somewhere where it's not so windy. So when it wasn't windy, it was covered in water. And we were like I said,
Yep.
every single day we tried, every single day we failed.
Yeah, so advice from us is do laser tag as soon as possible. Like even do it the very first night that you're
Yeah,
on there.
might as well.
Because the sooner the better. If you hit any wind, if it's a sea day, forget about it. It's just not
Yeah.
going to work. It's going to be too windy. It was closed. I would say probably 75%
Yep.
of our cruise, it was closed.
And then when
So-
the one day it was open, they were full. So that's just how it was.
All right, something else we need to mention before we move on to the best of the best. There is an aqua park on the
Yeah,
Bliss.
and it's awesome.
Awesome. There's one of the slides is a drop slide. I think it does like 4 loops or 3 loops. It is
I'm
crazy.
going to say 400.
We didn't get to try it because it was freezing, but I have done the drop slide on Escape and Getaway, which is really fun. So definitely recommend that if you want to try the water park area. Again, it was too cold for us. We went in December. It was just too cold.
Norwegian knows how to do water parks. So.
Yes, they do. All right, so here we go.
Okay, so apparently
Setting
Steph
the
says we'll leave the best for last.
For
And
last.
one would think that we did all the go-karts. It was crazy. We ended up doing go-karts every single day it was open. And sometimes we did it night and day.
We did.
It's the largest racetrack at sea, which is kind of a funny thing to say because it's really the only racetrack at sea currently. There's one other one now on the Joy, and there's going to be another one on Encore, but
That's right.
it is the largest of the only.
Yes.
I can honestly say, so let me put it to you this way. Stephanie and I are very, very competitive. She's way more competitive than I am. And I'm not talking about just games, like who can make the best coffee, who can run to the door first. There's always a competition. This kept, the replayability of this thing was so much fun because it's so random and you have no idea who's going to be racing with you or what the track conditions are going to be like, or it's just so much fun. I would honestly go back on the Bliss tomorrow and do go-karts again.
Oh, me too. Oh, yes. It's different at night and day.
The nighttime.
The nighttime.
Don't
is
do
the
it once,
best.
folks. Don't do it once. But,
Yes.
but if you have to, if you can only do it one time, nighttime is the only time.
Yes.
The lighting package is sick.
So fun. We did purchase a week-long pass for the go-karts, which allowed us to ride whenever we wanted without a reservation. That's very important to know.
It's important to know.
We absolutely love this because we could just go in the morning and then we could go after a show. We could go whenever we wanted. They just, we signed in, we gave them our card, they showed us, and then we walked into the line. It was really super simple. I love that it was the freedom that you get to come
and it
go.
wasn't that popular because every time we showed up in line, they're like, do you have an appointment? And then they'd be like, oh, no, they're the one that has the pass.
I don't think very many people had the pass.
Not many.
They also said that, most people will buy one ride pass, which is, I forget what it is, and it's always changing the prices. I'm not going to say the prices, but you do make reservations as soon as you get on the ship. You go to the social, make your reservation there. They will tell you all the packages that they have. We recommend the week long if it fits in your budget, especially if you're going to be able to ride a bunch of times. They do, when we were on there, they did sell a day pass. I don't know if they're still doing the day pass anymore, but because like I said, everything's changing, but definitely recommend the week pass. It's so fun, and not having to worry about reservations with shows or ports or excursions and all that stuff. You just get to come and go. You'll be like, you want to race? Yes.
So
let's go.
So here's a pro tip that I want to tell you. The go-karts are an experience, and some people are overwhelmed. First and foremost, it's a procedure. You don't just hop on a go-kart and race in the next race. There's a whole safety procedure.
It takes an hour.
It takes the whole process. One circuit's probably 45 minutes to an hour when you're all said and done. I think we've got it down to 45 on our one time, but we also made up for it like an hour and a half on another. But the point is that depending upon who else is in the field with you, will dictate whether or not you have an extreme time. We saw lots of like Mario Kart style racing, which is not allowed, but it still happens. And then we also saw some people who were so afraid to hit the gas that they'd literally drive down the middle, and it was basically like a pace car. We couldn't get around them. So much so that they had to kill your car, which they can do, by the way, move you out of the way and let everybody go by. So my long-winded point is buying one ticket is super, super risky. If it's all the time you have to do something, then so be it. You know, sometimes you only do the rock climbing wall once or the rope course once or whatever, that's fine. But if you can afford time-wise to do the go-karts more than once, I highly recommend it because every time is completely different.
That's right. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So that comes to our overall thoughts on the Norwegian Bliss. You want to give yours first? Or want me to go first?
I think you should go first.
All right. I absolutely love the Bliss.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely stunning ship. Like Sean mentioned at the beginning, Norwegian did it right. It's all the best of all Norwegian ships put together on one floating vessel. I love that. We got a tour of the Haven. The Haven's absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to actually sail in the Haven on the Bliss.
Nice.
They have a mini observation lounge, not quite as big as the one on deck 15, but it's
quite beautiful. Quite beautiful.
The observation lounge was my second highlight of the week. Of course, the go-karts were number one, but the observation lounge is just so beautiful. It's a great place to hang out day and night. It was never crowded. Even when the ship was full on a sea day, it was never crowded. We always had a seat. It is absolutely humongous. The Bliss is a great ship. Makes me even more excited to try out her sister ship, the Joy, which hopefully we'll be able to get on.
I would love to sail on the Joy. So I agree with everything Stephanie said. I would like to add a couple things. I honestly believe that this is the best ship that Norwegian has built. I haven't been on the Joy or the Encore. Clearly not the Encore at this point, but I will sail it. Hey, you want to put me on it right now? I'll do it. I'll vlog it. It's how do I put this genteel? We've sailed Norwegian well more than 30 times easily. A significant portion of those times have been in the Haven, but it's fair half and half. We've done balconies, we've done inside cabins, and we've done the Haven. I'm going to say this. The Bliss is the most perfect Norwegian ship for those of you who don't sail the Haven, and here's why. The observation lounge kills the need for the Haven.
It does.
So on Norwegian ships, things are typically very vibrant, very exciting, lots of crowds, you know, and when you sail in the Haven, when you're tired of the crowds and you want a little bit of a respite, you want a little bit of a chill, with excellent service, you go back to the Haven, and they have a bar and a restaurant and wonderful bartenders and a great place to chill. Well, so does the observation lounge, and it's included, folks. The bartenders of the observation lounge are crazy friendly, super nice, make excellent drinks, and with the exception of one time when they had to kill a tender port, the port was too windy to dock in. I'm sorry. We've never seen it crowded. The observation lounge is so massive. I'm not joking. Up one side, to the front, and all the way back. It is the single greatest design for Norwegian because in my humble opinion, they killed the Haven. And I love the Haven, trust me. But I didn't feel the need to have it on this particular trip because I got a place to go chill. I could have a little bit of bread or some fruit if I was feeling snacky. I could have a drink at any time I wanted from the most amazing bar. And I got this freaking vista that is just unbelievable. So there's no bad seat in the house. So I'm going to go on record saying this is the best version of a Norwegian ship that Norwegian has done. They can tend to get a little stale. I'm saying because everything is a cookie cutter, and Bliss broke that mold, and I'm sure Joy has and Encore has as well. But I think Bliss is a bigger, better, badder, most wonderful ship. And like I said, I would sail tomorrow and ride the go-karts tomorrow. So just give me good food, good drinks, and go-karts. And gosh, I am ready to go. So yeah, I will sail on Bliss any day of the week. I highly recommend it. You're not going to have a bad time. You can't go wrong. The entertainment's great. The food is great. Like I said, it's the best version of Norwegian as far as I'm humbly concerned.
Yes. So those are our thoughts on the Norwegian Bliss. How about you? Have you been on the Norwegian Bliss?
What are your thoughts?
Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear your experience or what your thoughts are on the Bliss. As always, give us a like while you're down there. Give us a good thumbs up. And if you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe down there for all of our cruise tips, cruise vlogs, travel, all that stuff, all that fun 5 things.
So
oh my
much
gosh,
stuff.
so much fun stuff going on.
All right, we're Sean and Steph. Those were our thoughts on the beautiful Norwegian Bliss. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.